At Cargill's Crop Innovation Center in Fort Collins, Colorado, they're working to build demand for agricultural products. They're working on biofuels and that next generation, but they're also working to help folks cut back on their sugar intake. Eric REINSVOLD, the cellular biology lead with the company, talked to me about how they're using stevia to reduce sugar intake.
So the stevia leaf concentrates these compounds called glycosides that are up to 400 times sweeter than sugar or sucrose. So you only need a little bit of this particular compound to give that same sweetness experience that you might expect from sugar.
Now, you mentioned leaf-based stevia. Can you talk to me about what that is specifically? What are you doing there, and why is it still leaf-based?
Right. So we access stevia leaf from different geographies and are actually, pulling those flavor compounds, those glycosides, from the leaf during using different extraction processes. So it's still all coming from the leaf. Whereas we have another product called EverSweet that is fermentation based. It's still the same compound, those glycosides of interest, but they're very focused on these particular chemicals that give a more sugar-like experience. Whereas with the leaf base, you're going to bring a lot of different compounds that might have other flavors that work in some applications but don't work in other applications.
So stevia exists. It's been grown for quite some time, I understand, in South America and in China. What work are you doing here to improve it? What are the challenges you see with stevia that you're trying to address?
So the primary challenges we see with stevia is just trying to address some of those flavor challenges that you kind of talked about. I think the first generation of stevia was great. It brought a sweetness in a sugar reduction solution to the market that consumers really resonate with. But in some applications, it might be a little longer lingering or have some bitterness that we want to address. So we're developing new varieties that have less of that linger and more of those flavor compounds that are more that consumers would recognize as a sweetness from like a sugar or sucrose.
As you're performing this research and pushing towards these new varieties, how long does it take? What sort of work can you accomplish here in a year for, say, at the Innovation Center?
Right. So in a year, we can get several generations of crossing where we may have a really good line that has great yield in a different geography, but maybe doesn't have that flavor profile that we're looking for. We might have another line that has that flavor profile. We can cross those in months, harvest the seed off of those, grow those, screen them under different conditions, and then select varieties that we want to test further. So we can really do a lot of important, critical work in a short amount of time here at the Crop Innovation Center.
Our thanks to Eric REINSVOLD for taking the time to talk to me about how that stevia leaf could potentially help folks reduce their sugar intake.